Put it all out in the open. No, we don't have to control it. Put it all out in the open. If it's only for a moment, it's a lifetime of emotion. Put it all out in the open.
Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm finally doing the highly requested tack tour video. So here I am in the tack room. I'm gonna show you most of the tack I owned and like my favorite things, show you the brands of all the equipment I use, and just kind of talk about why I use the things that I do and show you all the tack that I have for the most part. I say that loosely because I have so much stuff that's spread out between the tack room and my trailer and different barns. And yes, I am indeed wearing my own merch. This is the Banksy Jingle Balls Christmas sweater. Ha ha ha, play on words, so witty and funny. And then this is one of the toques, or if you're American, beanies, from my shop as well. So if you want to check that out, there's still some time to get an order by Christmas if you select rush shipping, but I highly recommend checking out the shipping times just in case, because if you need it by a specific time, I don't want anyone to end up disappointed if they order after the cutoff. So yeah, check these guys out. They're available for the month of December. I also have one that says mare, as in like female horse. Merry Christmas, ha ha ha, so punny. That's available as well, so check those out. This is the big reveal, my new dressage saddle from Schlesa that I got to test ride for them. I'm really excited about it. This is their Quartet dressage saddle. It has a really nice deep seat, super soft leather, thigh blocks that you can move. They're Velcro, and you can unscrew it to take them off. See? So there's a little screw there to undo, and then it Velcros off and you can move them to wherever you like them. Nice, really wide channel. Their channels are the most generous channels I have ever seen on a saddle. So they really clear the spine and sit on the strongest part of the back. Super saddle. It doesn't have stirrups on it right now because I don't know where my dressage leathers are. I think I sold them when I sold my other dressage saddle, so I've just been taking the stirrup leathers off of my jump saddle and putting them on here. This one's also custom fit to Milo. This is a brand new saddle. It's really nice, and despite being brand new, the leather is really, really supple and it doesn't feel like you need to break it in. So I'm a huge fan of that. This is a better look at just how wide the channel is. Super, super wide. The Quartet. This one is also wool flocked, but I would say like overall the technology Schlesa has been applying to their saddles is superior to what a lot of brands are doing. Like everything down to the stirrup bar is just made for the comfort of the horse and to avoid the scapula hitting the saddle, and you can feel it when you're riding. Like Milo's canter transitions in this saddle are better than in my other saddle, and I think it's due to the fit of the saddle. So with wool, you need to check the fit more often and have them reflocked more often, but it means that it's a more custom fit. So I prefer wool flock saddles personally, and I don't think I would go back to foam. It's all up to personal preference, but that's what my personal preference is. And for me, with my dressage saddles, I do really like these big blocks because it helps keep your leg in the correct space. Some people view that as cheating. I don't care. I'll do what I want. So yeah, I really like the big blocks in a dressage saddle and the nice deep seat, and I really like the feel of this saddle. It's really well made and it makes you feel really secure, and Milo also really liked it. So this is my jump saddle. It's the Amerigo Close Contact Event saddle. I really like it. It's like full calfskin leather other than like these little guys, the billets, and mono flap, really nice quality leather, super soft. It's wool flocked. It's got a nice wide channel. And I find it like it's a longer forward flap for me because I have such long legs, and it really helps keep my leg in place. The matching leathers are from Barnes Tack Room. They're also calfskin. And then if I take my little stirrup covers off, these stirrups are the Tech stirrups, the safety stirrup, the Venice safety stirrup, the light version. I really like Tech stirrups. All the stirrups I've been riding in currently are Tech stirrups. I have mostly the safety ones, and then I also have one pair of like the dressage, I think they're the Aphrodite. The traction is amazing on them, and they're safe. I really like them. They've got good support for bad knees, which I have. They're fabulous stirrups, so I'm really fortunate to be sponsored by them and to be working with them. So yeah, this is a nice little jump saddle. It's a 17.5-inch seat, longer forward flap, and a medium wide tree, custom fit to Milo. So I'm gonna do this in sections of purposes. So we'll start off with girths, which I have lots of, as you can see. So this is one of my leather oak bark show girths that I think I've used maybe like once. This is from Barnes Tack Room, this girth, and it's just a traditional leather girth, elastic only on one side. That's partially why I don't use it as often, but I don't think the leather girths are like particularly comfy, so I don't use them regularly personally for me. Next thing you're gonna notice is that my girths are dirty, and I want to remind you all, I live in a rainforest. We're always riding in mud, and mud splashes up onto the girths. So yes, I do need to clean my girths, but since I don't regularly use leather girths and they're only fabric girths, I'm not overly concerned about it, and I ride way too many horses to clean them all immediately after a ride, so bear with me. So this is my dirty Magic A Keep girth. Says USA on it, double elastic, wide through the sternum, so it distributes pressure better across the sternum of the horse, and then really nice like memory foamish type padding. It's not neoprene, so it doesn't trap heat as much. I love the Magic A Keep girths. These are the ones that I use the most regularly. This one's obviously a long girth, so I can only use it with my saddles that have short billets. And then next are my sheepskin girths. These are the short girths. The brand is Leveza. They're a Canadian brand. They're in Quebec. I love these girths. I only have them in short girths. They said that they're thinking of doing long girths in the springtime. So this is the black one that I typically use with my dressage saddle. It's real sheepskin, super soft, and just really nice. And the horses like it. It's comfortable, and I really like them. They're really, really good. And then this is also a Leveza girth, short girth. Sheepskin also, just a different color. This is the one that I use more with my jump saddle because the cream, like natural colored sheepskin, I think looks better with the brown than the black does. Another short girth. This is a belly guard girth. It's also a Magic A Keep. The underside is slightly different than my other one. It's got like the kind of like pinhole little ventilation. Instead of being covered with a light fabric, this is just directly the foam. But the cool thing about this one is that you can take that off to wash it without throwing the whole girth in the wash, so you can wash them separately, or you can pull off the underside just to hose it down after a ride. It's also what I use on my jump saddle, and it's one of my favorite girths. I recently got this one, so I haven't had the chance to use it a ton yet, but I've really enjoyed it so far. This girth is probably the one I've had for the longest. I think I got this like 6 years ago or something, maybe longer. It's a Professional's Choice girth. I think it's one of the Ventec ones. This one does have neoprene, so it traps more heat than the Magic A Keep ones. It also has the same idea where you can Velcro it off to wash it, and double elastic. Actually, this is the girth I've had for the longest. This is like my first dressage girth that I ever bought, like probably like 8 years ago now. It's a memory foam girth from Greenhawk. I think it's just the regular Shed Row brand, kind of the generic one. And you can kind of like, you can press it down and it leaves fingerprints, so it's really gummy. Held up really well because I've used it a lot over the years. It's just not my favorite short girth anymore, so it's kind of just an extra one that I have. So next up, I'll talk about my bridles. I do not have all of my bridles here because some are at different barns, and I'm not organized enough to bring them all home. So this is my first bridle that I'm going to show you. The brand is Barnes Tack Room, and I just have the back on track pull cap on it because Milo likes it. The headpiece of these is also padded, so they're definitely padded enough to ride without it. And then the bit that I have here, it's chewed. I've had this one for a while though, so it's held up actually quite well. This is the Centaur Eco Pure bit in the egg butt, and this is one of my favorite bits. I actually just bought a D-ring version of this, and it's fabulous. I haven't had the chance to use it yet, but it's kind of just going to replace this one since it does have a little bit of chew mark. This is just the regular Barnes Tack Room Hunter bridle with the wide noseband, and then this one has braided fancy stitch reins attached. I don't really have a preference for reins. I do really like the flat leather reins if they're really nice and soft leather, but generally speaking I just kind of use what I have. This is my dressage bridle with the fancy brow band. The brow band did not come with the bridle, it came from Clear Round Jump, so I added that on after. The bridle is from Barnes Tack Room. I don't love this bridle because it does have a crank noseband and I don't really use them. Like, it doesn't matter because you don't need to crank them super tight, but just not my preference and just kind of unnecessary. I definitely prefer a regular noseband first. This one also has fancy stitch braided reins, but the difference is these ones are black, and then the bit that we have here is a bomber bochet bit. That's just kind of one of my extra bits that I'll use for dressage and whatnot. Not one of my favorites, but I really like it. An extra dressage bridle. I think I'm actually going to sell this one. The brand is Blue Cactus Leather. Really nice leather, super bridle, just a bit big for my horses because most of my horses are like horse sized on the verge of cob. This is more horse / warm blood size, so it's just a little bit big and they all fit it on like the very last hole. That's my only complaint about it. It has a crank noseband, which again I don't use. Yeah, you know, you don't need it. Really good leather, padded noseband, padded crown piece, fancy brow band. The brow band did come with this bridle. This is my Loping Hackamore that I got from Ridge Creek Tack. And you get to customize the colors, so I got to have some fun picking the teal and then like the rawhide noseband. And it's just a pretty basic Hackamore kind of like side pull type bitless bridle, and I got it just for like trail riding and just kind of having fun rides in. I really like it. The quality is great. I haven't had it for that long, but I think they're really well priced and I really like it. We have another Barnes Tack Room Hunter bridle. The not wide noseband, the narrow kind of regular cavesson noseband. Same thing, padded crown piece with the back on track pad. This one we have rubber reins on, and this is like a blue steel loose ring bit with like a little peanut in the middle. It's a similar idea to the bomber, just not the same brand. Yeah, so this is Percy's regular bridle. This is my newest dressage bridle that I got from Amore Equestrian, who my friend Callie owns, and she's also selling my new saddle pads from her store. So this is one of the bridles she sells. I really like it because it just has the basic noseband, no crank, no flash loop. This is a brow band I bought after the fact from Rebel Equestrian. It's pearls and I really like it. This bit is the Steuben Anatomical D-ring bit with like the sweet copper. And it's a nice bit. It's not like my favorite one, it's just kind of on here because I've been using this bridle as an extra. And then I have a pair of really old crappy reins on it. And then I do have like 2 or 3 other bridles that are at my client's house. I have a bit fitting video if you want to see me detailed talking on all the bits that I own, but I'll just briefly go through these. This is just a generic loose ring with a peanut in the middle, nice and shaped to the mouth. This one's curved instead of just a flat rigid mouthpiece. That's nice. Not in use right now. Rubber happy mouth with peanut in the middle, nice light bit for green horses, not in use right now. This is a bevel with the leather mouthpiece. Got some chew marks, but it's actually held up pretty well. I don't like how thin the mouthpiece on this is. The only reason I tolerate it is because it is leather, so it gets really soft once it's in their mouth and getting wet and heated up, but I wish it was thicker. This is one of the leather bits that you can use bitless because it has the little chin strap. I haven't really used this much. Milo does not like the feel of just the bit in his mouth. Maybe if I work on it more he won't mind it as much, but he doesn't like that it straps down over the chin like this. So I haven't used it a lot. I might just cut the strap off and use it as is, but I haven't decided. Next up, I'll talk about the hoof boots I have. So none of my horses other than Judy, who is a sales horse, have shoes right now. They're all barefoot, so I ride them in hoof boots usually. So these are the scoop boots. This is my favorite hoof boot. They're super lightweight and they're really grippy. Like it's got dirt on it, like I said, rainforest. Really nice tread on there, and then it allows the hoof to flex a lot more than they can in a shoe, and they stay on for jumping. I've ridden at the beach with them. I've ridden through mud, ridden on mountain trails in them. No problems whatsoever. Really, really like these boots just because they're so lightweight and not clunky at all. These are my favorite sport hoof boot by far. And then I have the Equine Fusion jogging boots. They're more similar to the Cavallo type hoof boots in that they cover the whole hoof, and they're definitely heavier than the scoop boots and a little bit more clunky style wise. However, they have really good grip on the bottom and they're still really lightweight and they secure well to the hoof. So I really like these ones. I use them more for trail riding and lower level jumping stuff. For me, I would just personally prefer the lower profile nature of the scoot boots over these ones for jumping, just because it's easier for the horse to get their feet out of the way. While we're still on leg protection, these are the Incrediwear therapy bandages. These are my absolute favorite wraps ever. I love them. They're not fleece, so they don't trap as much heat. They're stretchy and they're nice and wide, so they cover a lot of area of the leg. And then they also have the therapy benefits that Incrediwear has to offer. So these are my favorite wraps. As for boots, I have full sets of these Magic Keep open front jump boots, and these are probably the boots that I use the most. I have a front pair too, but I left it at my friend's house, so I can't show the fronts right now. But I have a couple of pairs of these, the full set, and they're my favorite boots. They've got nice lining on the inside that lasts really well, and it's not neoprene, so traps less heat. These are the Magic Keep cross-country boots. I use these for stuff like trail rides or jumping solid objects and whatnot. And I've also been using them on Banksy for trail rides. The next type of bandage that I really like are these Saratoga bandages, which they're super lightweight, really stretchy. Downfall of these is that they're easy to bow a tendon with because you can wrap them too tight easily if you're not super comfortable wrapping. They also have grippies on the inside so they don't slide down, and they don't hold a lot of water because of how low profile they are. I really like these ones as well. They're really good for the summer, and they're one of my favorite types of bandages, but the Incrediwears win overall. Okay, next up is just kind of the training gadgets I have, I guess. This is just a regular like 3-point breastplate. It has a martingale attachment that I can put on it, so if I ever use a running martingale, I use this one. This brand is Barnes Tack Room. It's really well made. I like it. It's fancy, nice quality leather, and I've had it for a while and it's held up really well. A regular 3-point elastic brow band. Brand is also Barnes Tack Room. It's green with red trim. This one is kind of a little tight on my more big shouldered horses, and the elastic needs to stretch out more, so I haven't used it a lot. I need to break it in better. It also does have a running martingale attachment, so I can put one on this. But with that said, I don't ride in a martingale very often, so those are like the only two gadgets I have. I don't have draw reins, don't have standing martingales, don't have German martingales, none of that. I don't like to use it, not my thing. Okay, so the next thing that I have are just like some of my neck ropes. I broke some of my older ones. I also do use stirrup leathers as neck ropes sometimes. These are from Free Riding Neck Ropes on Instagram. They're really cute and they're really nice and well made. And these are my newest neck ropes. So the next thing is gonna be like most things of one product that I have, which is unsurprisingly saddle pads. So let's get into it. I'm gonna try to whip through this, otherwise we'll be here all day. So this is the new saddle pad that I made in collaboration with Amore Equestrian. This is the Evergreen Jump Pad. It's the milestone pad. I love it. It's got croc leather and then fancy cording and then my little logo there. Really well made. Underside is nicely ventilated with like aerated material. Super quality. I love them, and I've tried to price them a lot lower to kind of undercut some of the bigger saddle pad companies that sell fancy saddle pads but are selling them for like 120 bucks. So I have these listed at $50 US or $65 Canadian, and they're great. Check them out. I love them. They're also available in peacock blue. And then this is one of the prototypes of the same saddle pad that I had made, and this didn't make it to the final production. I thought the green color was too light. I wasn't a fan, and I wanted them to make the diamonds a little bit smaller, and then it also doesn't have the croc leather finish. This is a saddle pad that I had made with my training logo. This is a style and cut that I think I will eventually end up selling in store through Amore Equestrian, so let me know what you guys think of this style. It's very similar to the other type of jump pad, but not satin. This is the prototype of the peacock jump pad without the croc leather. The finished one has croc leather and the diamonds are smaller, so I like that one better, but this is just the prototype. This is a saddle pad that I have from Clip Clop Creations. It says Landshark. It's really funny. I got it made for Milo. This is a very dirty back on track jump pad. It's nice because it has like the nice therapy technology that Back on Track has. I like it. It just needs a bath. This is the Ogilvy baby pad in burgundy trim with my training logo. that I had done for George to go to the makeover to wear in his jumper class. I really like the baby pads. The only complaint I have about these is if your horse jumps really round and kind of has fat sides, i.e. Milo, they tend to slide back. They don't really stay in place unless you get the profile pads, which have the girth, the little girth keepers to keep it in place. This is my newest saddle pad from Schlesa. It came in with my dressage saddle. Really well made. It has like microfiber underside. I think that's what the material is called. Super saddle pad. The thing I like best about this saddle pad is when you put it on, you don't have to pull up the saddle pad at all because it has wither clearance on its own. So it always stays up. It doesn't fold back down like some saddle pads do, even when you pull them up. I like it a lot. This is the Back on Track dressage pad from, I think it's called their like Dark Knights collection or something. Same Back on Track technology, but looks a little bit fancier. I like these pads. This is a really old, super thick white dressage pad that I use. I stain white, if you couldn't tell by my Back on Track pad. So this is only for shows. I don't love how thick it is. I'm probably gonna get a different one. I do have a Back on Track version of a white dressage pad that's thinner, but it has waltzed off somewhere. So we'll find it one day. This is my Lemieux dressage pad in cornflower. I also have matching polar wrap, but I'm not the biggest fan of wrapping my horses with fleece, so I usually just use the pad. I really like the Lemieux pads. They're really good quality. They're just super expensive, so this is the only one that I have, but the color is lovely and it looks good on lots of different horses. This is the Horse Equestrian. Horse, I know. I think they say it horsey, but it's spelled like horse and it sounds like horse, you know, like maybe not the best brand name, but anyways, this is the Burgundy dressage pad. It shrunk in the wash, so it's actually more like an AP pad, but it's kind of long, so I use it for a dressage pad mostly, even though it's still kind of small. It's nice. Burgundy, fancy little rhinestones. The rhinestones have more or less stayed on over the years, so I appreciate that. This is the same version of the dressage pad from Back on Track, but in a jump pad. This is just a really basic, cheap bumper pad that I have for training horses who might need it. Another Ogilvy baby pad with my training logo and my training colors. Or sorry, this isn't my training logo, that's my old logo that I now use for the store. This is a Letia baby pad with a little alligator on it. So cute. Another Ogilvy pad with my old logo on it in my barn colors. This is the half pad that I use the most. The brand is Lemieux and it is real sheepskin. It's lasted really well. It's really good quality. I really like it. I use this one the most. I used to have a thin line pad that I also loved, but someone stole it, so it's gone. This is the Dapple Equestrian jump pad in their nice green color. I really like this one. It has the really good underside. It also needs a bath, but it's got good ventilation on the underside. This is a really old profile pad I got from Ogilvy for my old horse, my first thoroughbred that I really started showing. Some of you guys may recognize the name Alibi on Fire, aka Dallas. I keep it out of being sentimental and because I really loved him and he was the best and he's still alive, so he's just in a new home. This is the Vencedora jump pad in their burgundy color. It's super nice, super cute, really well made, ventilated underside, and beautiful satin and stitching. This is similarly the Vencedora jump pad, but in navy. Same quality, really lovely. I like it a lot. They have their cute little logo like that as a button. This is from the new Equipad collection for saddle pads. They're really good quality. They also stay up. You don't have to pull them up. Same type of underside where it's ventilated and nice and kind of sweat wicking. This other color from their collection is my favorite. It's so neutral. It goes well on every horse. And I really like the outfit that they made for people that matches this that I also have. I'm not wearing it today, obviously. This is a Magic Keep pad, nice sheepskin at the front there, really grippy underside, and then it also has like the padding kind of very similar to like the thin line half pads but built in, and it's also shimmable. So this is really good quality. It has the wither cut out for high withered horses. Super pad. Eco Gold, this is the Cool Fit pad. Out of the Eco Gold pads that I have, this one is my favorite. Really squishy underside and it keeps them cool. It's really good for sweat wicking because the whole pad is ventilated and they clean up really nicely when you wash them. I've had this for several years. They last really well. They're very expensive pads, but I would say the technology is different from the average pad in how they make them, so you're paying for something that's actually different. I also have their Comfort Tech pad, which I don't know where it is right now. It's in storage somewhere. I will find it one day. This is another older Eco Gold profile pad with blue. 25. So I have 25 saddle pads. And that's honestly not all of them, I'm not gonna lie. So I'll show you my helmets, which again, I don't have all of them because my track helmet is at a different farm. This is my newest helmet. It's the Tipperary wide brim rose gold. I forgot what the actual name, I think it's the Royal helmet, the Royal wide brim. I really like this, really good quality. It has the MIPS or like MIPS or whatever technology. So it's one of the safer helmets on the market, and I think they're pretty well priced for a helmet, especially when you compare them to how much other brands are nickeling and diming for their fancy helmets. I have another wide brim helmet, my Mist Shield, way more expensive, essentially the same thing. I obviously still like this helmet, but I mean like way more expensive. Unrelated, this is a custom like jockey whip that I had made for me. Fun colors. It matches my jockey chaps that I use for galloping in. And then I also just have like the generic like riding crops that are legal for the jumper ring, and those are like the only tools that I use. I have spurs too, but I don't really use them. So I think what we learned from all of this is that I do not need to buy any more saddle pads, and I need to calm down about the whole saddle pad thing and stop getting more saddle pads, and instead I need to buy a pair of black leathers to put on my dressage saddles. That's what we learned. But yeah, that's basically the gist of like all the tack that I use regularly, the stuff that's in the immediate vicinity for me to use and hasn't gone off to tack heaven or gone off on a little tack walk where I can't find it. Yeah, so that's my tack collection. Thank you for watching today. It was a little excessive just because I have so much stuff. I just want to remind people that I have been riding for 20 years now, so I've had a lot of time to amass amounts of equipment, and since I started training professionally, it's only gotten worse. So don't feel bad about yourself if you don't have as much stuff or tack that's as expensive and stuff, because I'm aware that I do have a lot of expensive stuff. However, it has taken me years of like riding through having like $50 saddles that aren't pretty and are super beat up, and gradually making my way up to having the nicer things, and then also being fortunate enough to achieve these sponsorships that allow me to have items that I couldn't otherwise afford. So it's been a long time of acquiring things. So if you have less than me, just remember I have way too many horses and I have hoarded stuff for years. So yeah, that's the tack. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. And then also, if you're interested in any of my stuff from my store, just remember to keep in mind the Christmas shipping times and any delays, and to make sure that you select the right form of shipping to guarantee a Christmas arrival if that's what you need. And yeah, just check out my store. All the proceeds from the store just kind of go towards supporting the horses and my career, and right now like the proceeds from these are going to paying for my university classes because Milo's ulcer treatment took that from me. So yeah, check that out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.